Okay, let's just jump right in with a massive question. What is life? I mean, we think we know, right? But do we really? Today, we're going to dive deep into this using a classic philosophical text to help us uncover what life, philosophically speaking, is all about.
So let's start with a really simple thought experiment. What's the real fundamental difference between, well, you and a rock? Seriously. Now, biology can give us one answer, sure, but philosophy pushes us to find a much, much deeper one.
And here's the very first clue, and it's a big one. A rock? It's totally passive, right? It only moves if something else, wind, water, you kicking it, acts on it from the outside. But a living thing? That's completely different. It moves itself from within. It has this internal engine, this principle that lets it act on its own.
All right, so here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to explore this secret of self-movement. Then, we'll look at 3 big philosophical models for what life is. After that, we'll take the ancient idea of the soul and give it a modern twist. We'll even touch on the ultimate origin story. And finally, we'll bring it all back home to figure out, what does this all mean for you?
Okay, so this idea of self-movement is absolutely central, but it's way deeper than just, walking around or a plant growing towards the sun. To really get it, we need to introduce a key philosophical term. It's called immanence.
So what in the world is immanence? Well, think of it like this. It's any action that begins inside a being and is all about improving or completing that very same being. The effects stay within it. The main point of the action is to benefit the thing doing the action.
This is a great way to see the difference. Look at the blacksmith forging a sword. That's what we call a transitive action. All his work goes into changing something external, the sword. But a plant absorbing sunlight, now that's an immanent action. The whole point of that process is to nourish and build up the plant itself. It's all internal. And that internal, self-perfecting activity, that's the philosophical fingerprint of life.
Okay, so how have thinkers throughout history tried to explain this special quality of life? Well, their ideas usually fall into one of 3 buckets. Are we just complicated machines? Are we bodies with a ghost inside? Or is it something else entirely?
First up, we've got mechanism. This theory says a living thing is basically just a super complex machine. That's it, nothing more. Everything about you, from growing taller to feeling happy, can, in the end, just be broken down into the basic laws of physics and chemistry.
All right, theory number 2 is vitalism. You might have heard this called the ghost in the machine idea. This model says, yeah, you've got a physical body, but there's also some kind of separate, mysterious, vital force or life principle that powers it up. They're 2 distinct things that are just sort of mashed together.
But then there's a third option, which comes from Aristotle. It's a totally integrated view that says both of those other models are wrong. It suggests that a living being is a single, unified thing. The soul isn't some ghost driving the car. No, it's the very organizing principle, the thing that makes the pile of matter a living body to begin with.
Now that is a really big idea, so let's unpack it a little. What does it actually mean for the soul to be an organizing principle? A modern analogy, believe it or not, makes this whole thing surprisingly clear. Okay, so you're seeing this classical definition up on the screen, probably in Latin. Don't worry about it, don't try to translate it. It looks complicated, but the idea behind it is actually incredibly elegant. Let's just break down what it means in simple, everyday terms. What it boils down to is this: the first act of an organized body that has the potential for life. Now, that phrase first act is crucial. It doesn't mean an action like walking or thinking. Those are second acts. First act means the fundamental state of being alive that makes all those other actions possible in the first place. So here's the best way to get your head around this. Think of your body, your bones, your heart, your cells as the hardware. It's all the physical stuff. The soul, in this view, is the software. It's not another piece of hardware you can find. It's the operating system, the master program that takes all those separate parts and makes them work together as one single, unified, living you. So if we start thinking about life as this deeply integrated, self-organizing system, it naturally leads to the next big question. Where did it come from? How does something like this even get started? Philosophically, there are 3 main ways people have tried to answer that, and the theories are pretty wild.
First, you've got spontaneous generation, the idea that life can just pop into existence from non-living stuff all by itself. Then there's pre-existence. This one pictures a big cosmic life force that's always been there, and it just gets sort of dripped into individual bodies. And third, you have creation, which argues that you need an intelligent cause to kick things off and create life, once the universe has all the right ingredients in place.
All right, let's bring this all back to where we started. Back to that first question. So, what are you? If we follow this whole line of thinking, the answer becomes pretty clear. You are so much more than just a complicated machine. So let's just recap the key takeaways here. Number 1, philosophically, what defines life is immanence, that power for internal, self-directed action. Number 2, this suggests you're not a machine and you're not a ghost in a machine. You're a deeply integrated being. And number 3, this means your soul isn't some thing inside you. It's the very principle that makes you a living, unified whole. It's literally what makes you, you.
And all of this whole journey leaves us staring at one final massive question. If you really are more than just the sum of your parts, if you're an integrated being with this internal principle of life driving you from within, then what's your purpose?